Trash dumped across multiple acres of land, piled 2 to 3 stories high. These are examples of what some residents in the Antelope Valley are seeing in their community, and they are fed up. I investigated this growing problem in North LA County and why several major Southern California waste haulers are being accused of illegally dumping some of this trash. The Antelope Valley's vast landscape, dotted with Joshua trees and animals well adapted to the desert, is a special place for North Los Angeles County residents.
People might just think, oh, it's just dirt. It's not just dirt.
It's where locals Erica Schwartz, Wendy Walker, and Jackie Livingstone love to enjoy nature.
I just recreate out here. I bring my dog with me.
But they say this landscape is changing for the worse. Schwartz has lived in the area for about 15 years, raising 2 kids. She says in recent years, instead of seeing miles of beautiful desert, some parts look more like dumping grounds for trash, like this makeshift landfill spread across 15 acres with trash piled 2 to 3 stories high.
Initially, we were thinking it was household, but we soon found out that it was way deeper than that.
Schwartz is also part of the nonprofit Strength-Based Community Change, and they've been focused on the growing problem of illegal dumping.
So you have piles of what is green waste. It is actual mulch. But then you see piles of construction, ground up concrete, glass.
Spectrum News reviewed public records, lawsuits, and legal notices, all pointing to major waste companies dumping tons of trash on private, empty parcels of land without proper permits. It is legal to spread mulch across land with certain restrictions, but Schwartz says she's seeing the organic material mixed with trash and construction debris, like here, a half block from an elementary school in the rural community of Lake Los Angeles. And you would say in the last few years, this has really gotten bad in terms of seeing this type of dumping?
Yes. It's been consistently getting worse and worse.
We saw several makeshift landfills with these residents who say brazen illegal dumping is taking place at more than 20 sites in rural communities.
There's no culpability for this. People are coming out here, they're dumping this. It's a mess.
Just to give you a sense of the things that we're seeing being dumped out here, there's a lot of construction debris. I see wood, I see plastic, even some glass, some chemicals here. Now, all of this is being dumped into these piles, and this thing right here is at least 30 or 40 feet high. It's a problem costing taxpayers more and more. LA County spent $2.3 million in 2019 to clean up illegal dumping. That number surged to over $6.8 million in 2023. These residents aren't the only ones sounding the alarm. We obtained documents showing several other residents are planning to file a federal lawsuit. In a TV exclusive, Spectrum News spoke with their lawyer, Chris Nidell, who says they are accusing 14 major Southern California waste haulers, trucking companies, and recyclers of transporting solid waste and illegally dumping it at a dozen sites across Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Kern counties, including this one in Schwartz community.
It's all about finding the cheapest way to get rid of something rather than complying with the law.
The intent to sue notice says the open dumping presents an imminent and substantial endangerment to health and the environment, and this violates the Federal Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, which regulates the proper cleanup of hazardous waste.
This was something that I had never seen before, where basically they were just taking construction and demolition debris, recycling waste, compost waste that should be composted under the right conditions, and just piling it in, 20, 30-foot piles for acres and acres.
His firm has already filed 2 LA County lawsuits accusing some of the same companies of illegally dumping. Some of the biggest alleged violators named in the lawsuits in legal notice include Athens Services, Universal Waste Systems, and Republic Waste Services of California. Spectrum News found each of these companies have trash hauling contracts with the city of LA worth hundreds of millions of dollars. LA City's Public Works Department told Spectrum News that, quote, the city takes illegal dumping seriously. We are aware of this matter but cannot comment as it involves active litigation.
There are also thousands of residents that are paying for this service.
Documents reviewed by Spectrum News show last year, San Bernardino County officials ordered Athens Services and one of its composting facilities to cease illegally dumping waste matter after investigators found they were dumping thousands of tons of waste on empty parcels of land shown in these photos. The property owner was also cited for accepting it. The county recently confirmed to Spectrum News that the waste is still there, but the owner is working on either cleaning it up or getting proper permits. In another example, LA County officials issued a notice of violation to an Antelope Valley landowner last year for stockpiling construction waste covered with mulch coming from the same composting facility in San Bernardino, owned by Athens Services. We reached out to all the companies and landowners named in the forthcoming lawsuit. We heard back from Athens Services, which said in part, quote, Athens does not engage in illegal dumping as alleged. Athens Organic Material goes through a comprehensive process at our advanced compost facilities. Republic Waste Services of California also denied the illegal dumping allegations, saying in part that we are a responsible company, recognized as one of the world's most ethical and sustainable businesses, and we operate with care for our communities and the environment. Illegal dumping is against the law in California, punishable with fines up to $10,000 and 6 months in jail. But catching illegal dumpers in the act can be tough.
These are semi-trucks, 53-foot trailers, semi-tractor and trailer, that are filled to the top with just waste.
Deputy Gilberto Burrell patrols Lake LA, covering 100 square miles with a handful of other deputies. He says he's investigated some drivers hauling trash from the San Fernando and Sun Valley areas to the Antelope Valley and dumping at places like this.
They dump it, the bulldozers get it, they push it up into the hillside and just keep pushing and pushing. I mean, this is consistent with what would happen at a regular landfill.
Burrell says sheriff's deputies can seize the vehicle if it's used to illegally dump waste, but they must witness it in order to cite them. And oftentimes the truck drivers will leave the area if they see law enforcement or pull over and wait until the deputy leaves and responds to a more urgent call. You literally have to see them doing it. How many times in your career have you actually witnessed that?
So we've caught them, because this is so open and wide, we've caught them probably a handful of times between here and Little Rock. It's very difficult to catch them in the act. A lot of the dumping, believe it or not, will happen late at night.
In fact, the number of illegal dumping cases filed by the LA County District Attorney's Office has dropped from 15 to 2 to 0 over the last 6 years. But the LA County Department of Public Works expects to see a 15% increase from 2023 in reports of illegal dumping to over 15,800 in 2024. In the Antelope Valley, the problem is getting worse, according to Chuck Boswick. He's the field deputy for LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger, who represents the area. He's also part of the Antelope Valley Illegal Dumping Task Force.
We had the small scale stuff, the people who weren't paying for trash, the guys who cleaned out the foreclosed on house and threw the trash out in the desert. Now we've got this large scale dumping and disposal.
Last fall, Supervisor Barger asked the county to do more to curb illegal dumping, in part because state regulations hold landowners responsible for cleaning up whatever is dumped on their property, not the trash haulers. Current efforts include the Sheriff's Department setting up cameras and installing license plate readers in rural areas and recommending changes to state law. Boswick says a big concern with the commercial-scale dumping of trash and mulch.
There's piles of construction waste in the center, surrounded by the mulch that they can see.
Is not only the potential for catching fire, but they also don't know what contaminants may be in there.
And you don't know what it's doing as far as seeping into the groundwater table. All these homes rely on wells around here. People are very sensitive about what is leaking into the ground.
For now, these residents remain focused on efforts to clean up the desert.
The more you start looking at it, it's everywhere out here. It's just sad.
For Schwert, this work is personal.
When your kids are telling you like, oh, why is it so dirty at home? But when we go on vacation, this isn't around. This isn't prevalent. So that was really a big switch for me.
Leading these residents on a years-long mission to end illegal dumping in the community. Renee Ng, Spectrum News 1.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.